Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Clangin and Bangin with Mikey. Good morning, happy Sunday. And today what we're gonna talk about, man, is like sometimes people come to me for the craziest things, right? It's like a lot of my friends they come to me for the honesty, whether it's relationship, whether it's losing weight or or whatever it is. And I had one of my good friends tell me like, yo, like it was like he said like yo like I call you because I want to hear the truth. I don't want to hear what I want to hear. You know what I mean? Like I want to hear what I need to hear. Which is a big thing. I had another brother of mine that I know. He told me like yo, he's like you actually are one of my real true friends. He said you a solid dude. I was like yeah, I was like yeah, dog. Like I try to be man. Like I don't try to be something I'm not. I don't try to be X, Y, and Z. I don't try to be fugazi, anything like that. It's like I just I treat people how I want to be treated, and vice versa. It's like I don't go out my way to be mean or be spiteful of people just because it's like and then there are some people just like yo, it's like they just rub me the wrong way, and I'm like yo, I know you fake as fuck. It's like I used to work with this one girl. Uh, she had a taste for the finer things, right? And her husband, which was paying for that lifestyle, right? I'm talking like she drove a car that was worth more than what she made in a year. She wore designer clothes that were, that she couldn't afford by herself, type of shit. And she was telling me all this, like, yeah, well, he called me, spoiled, this and this and that. I'm like, well, technically, you are. It's like you live in a lifestyle that you can't afford on your own salary. You driving a car that's not, if you had a car note on that bitch, you would not be able to pay it. That shit would get repoed. And she was like, what? I was like, yeah. It's like, you're spoiled because you don't provide for yourself. Yeah, yeah, you got a job. Yeah, you got this and this and that. But if bills was just solely fall on you, you wouldn't be able to fucking pay them every month. You will probably have to supplement your income doing something else. And a lot of people get mad at that fact. And I'm like, yo, it's like, number one, to me, I don't get who you are. Buying a car that's worth more than what you make every year, it's stupid. You know, like I have a truck loan, and I'm telling you this right now. I am never having another car loan. This shit is ridiculous. Never. Yeah, it's crazy. As much as I love my truck, I'm never I'm never having another car loan in my life. Fuck that. Like that shit's ridiculous to me, right? Anyway, so my point being is that a lot of people don't know how to budget their money. They don't know how to live within their means. My father told me this a long, long time ago when I was like 19, 20. He was like, yo, he was like, you gotta learn to live within your means. I was like, what you mean? He's like, you gotta learn how to save your money. You gotta learn how to pay your bills. And back then, I was working on a minimum wage job, so nigga, I didn't really have no bills, bro. Besides gas, besides gas, and that's it. And that was during the Great Recession, so that's how long ago that was. And but yeah, like that shit to me was strange, bro. It's like I look back on it now, and I look to see if what type of situations people are in, man, and it's like yo, it's like you gotta learn how to budget your shit. You gotta learn how to like just be independent, because you don't want to be that adult that depends on everybody else around you to make it. I got some family members, who are exactly like that, and I'm like, yo, it's like you need to stop and stop and look around you to see who actually is providing you the lifestyle that you live, bro. Because it ain't you, you know. It's not you, like yeah, you got a job, you got a career, but it's like you're living in a different tax bracket because of somebody else, or like you have other resources that that you can tap for X, Y, and Z, and it's like for what, and it's to me it's crazy because you don't understand how important that is, right? to have somebody there in your corner who wants the best for you. You know, to have somebody in your corner that wants you to be the best version for you, not just, you know, for the optics or whatever it is. There's some people out here who want the best for you, you know? And a lot of the times people will take advantage of that because they think that they can. And when they do that, it just shows them the other person who they're really dealing with. And that's the sad part, is because you're out there doing X, Y, and Z for somebody and they're not being appreciative of it. And everybody goes through this, bro. And the younger you are and you go through this, the better you'll be. Like, you don't want to be in your 40s or your 50s dealing with this shit, because ain't nobody got time for this, bro. Like, nobody does. And I think that's the most irresponsible thing that people can do, is to sit there and see, and like not be appreciative of people around them. You know, some of the smartest people I know don't have a college education. Some of the smartest people I know, they worked minimum wage jobs. They had jobs that had minimal skill, but they were smart. Some of the stupidest people I know have a bachelor's, master's, and PhD. And when I say that, people look at me like, huh? I was like, yeah. Some of the stupidest people I know have a bachelor's, master's, and PhD. They think just because they have a piece of paper that they better than everybody else. You know? Some of the smartest guys I know, you can stick them underneath the hood of a car. They can fix anything. You stick them in a physics class talking about the same shit, they don't know what to do. But you stick them in some real world shit, they know exactly what to do. You know? So what I'm saying is that a lot of times people will they'll take for granted, you know, what other people have to offer them. And you can't do that. You know, you can't take it, like, you can't take that shit for granted. You can't dismiss somebody just because you think you're better than them. It don't work that way. Everybody has something to offer, you know. It's like the old saying goes, the loudest person in the room is the foolish one. And it's true. Like, you ever walked into a room, you find a motherfucker always talking? Not loudly, but just talking. And, you know, I always gotta feel this, the dead spaces with some sort of bullshit. Because they can't stand the fact that that nothing's going on. You know, I got family members just like that too. Like, they always gotta talk, and I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? Like, why are you constantly always fucking talking? You know, what is so important that you always have to fucking talk? It is not that important, you know. I could understand if we're having a conversation, people going back and forth, but I'm talking about the people who are just talking just to talk. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? But getting back to my original point, man, is be mindful of the people that you have around you. Because sometimes, man, like, the most difficult things come from the people you don't want to hear from, but you have to hear it from them. It's like my coworker who was bitching about her husband at the time too, and I'm like, look, I told her, I understand what you're saying, but you have to look at it from his aspect too. It's like, you know, you're asking for shit that you can't afford by your own, you know, on your own. You know, you're asking for a car that, you know, like I said earlier, if you had a car note on it, you would not be able to pay it. You know? It's like you're asking for X, Y, and Z, and it's like, and the thing about it too is like, I wouldn't buy you an expensive car either, because you've already proven to me without, you know, that you don't know how to take care of things. And she's like, what? I was like, yeah, it's like, Ma, your brakes are so bad that they had metal shavings. When's the last time you took that shit in for a service? Like, why would somebody buy you a very expensive car and you don't know how to take care of it? You've already proven that, you know. And I told her too, is like, when she told me that her brakes were, you know, shaving, I'm like, you better hope and pray that shit didn't get into the engine. And she's like, what you mean? Is like, if metal shavings get into the engine, it's a wrap. You gotta buy a whole brand new car. And then she was bitching about the price tag, and I'm like, well, it's your fault. Because honestly, it's like, you can hear your brakes going bad. You can hear your brakes doing X, Y, and Z. So, and you can't get mad at him because it's not his responsibility to take care of your car, husband or not. Be in a doubt about it, you know? Hold yourself accountable. Do X, Y, and Z. But apparently, a lot of people don't want to hear that, man. But it is what it is. I think that's a shame too, when a lot of people just sit there and they don't want to take accountability for themselves. And again, the theme of these episodes for the last month or so was it's been about boundaries and accountability. You can't have boundaries and not have accountability. A lot of people love to talk about boundaries, this and this and that. But part of boundaries working